Morning punters, happy Tuesday. Some proper racing going on now. On Saturday, could have two generational talents. The one in Punters and Autumn Glow, they were that good. I reckon quality wise, racing's had a bit of a dip for a few years. Wouldn't be surprised if Punters is the best sprinter since Chautauqua. And Autumn Glow, the best mare since Winks. There you go. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they continue on their journey. Vince Accardi and I have broken all that down on our year-round carnival podcast, which is free and corporate bookmaker affiliation free. Who else says that? Tipping not many. So one of the more interesting races on the day was race 3, both before and after. The 1,000 Guineas winner Ole Dancer was resuming, and Sassapil, coming off a Flemington 1400 track distance win, was the co-favourite. So the known, after Sassapil, led in a fast maiden at Seymour before winning a slow tempo big finish race at Flemington after being very well backed, which said there was good stable confidence in its talent level. The knowns, and anything can happen once the barrier's open, but the knowns were it was race fit, it was going to go forward, and Ole Dancer had goals ahead. Now, if you don't take into account trainer's intent, that's on you, not them. We repeatedly see horses getting beaten at short prices early in their prep when clearly their goals are ahead, because they are priced on their peak performances, not on what they are going to do that day, and that includes tactics. So pre-race, I was very amused to hear apparently there was a monster class edge on Ole Dancer over Sassapil, because Ole Dancer had won the Group 1 1,000 Guineas. Now, as an aside, that 1,000 Guineas was a very slow 1,000 Guineas. That doesn't mean that these horses haven't got quality through them, but coincidentally on the same day, Apocalyptic, the runner-up, resumed at Randwick, was beaten at odds on. And when it won the flight stakes, it was also beaten as odds on by Ole Dancer in the 1,000 Guineas. When it won the flight stakes lead-in, hence why it was odds on the 1,000 Guineas, its flight stakes was the clear slowest of 4 mile races that day. It was Epsom day, it was a strong day, but it was the clear slowest of 4 races. So your handicapping rating is based on whether you won or not. And then there's extra impost for winning a stakes race, and in this case a Group 1 race. It doesn't say how fast you ran. And if I'm wrong that is a silly guide, well, why did the market truckload Sassapil over Ole Dancer? There was that they didn't think there was a big class edge, and 2, and the old phrase is the market tells you the map, they were saying that Ole Dancer was going to get a soft lead. Now, we get them right and wrong. I said on our preview podcast and wrote, expected it to settle 4 lengths in front of Ole Dancer in the run, make it a pretty appealing prospect. And then when the market pre-race backed that assertion, your confidence goes up. So after the race, some people's hair caught on fire, because Luke Nolan from barrier 6 of 6 went back, let the horse settle to run home. Now, have you ever heard Chris Waller say about a first up horse of his? We just want it to relax and run home. I reckon 8 billion times. Bart Cummings, the immortal one, wouldn't want to be going through his unbelievable record and picking out the first up performances of many of his horses and saying, how come this horse wasn't there? Well, because trainers can and do and are entitled to program their horses tactically based on where they're setting their goals. And if you didn't take into account that on Saturday Ole Dancer was going to get back, relax and work home, well, that's on you, not them, isn't it? And let me back this up, because yes, it sat outside the lead in the 1,000 Guineas. The 1,000 Guineas was its grand final. First up at Caulfield, settled 3 lengths from the lead. Second up at Moonee Valley, it settled 8 lengths from the lead. And third up at Sandown, when it went from 1200 to 1400, and on Saturday it was running over 1400, it settled 7.5 lengths from the lead before getting beaten in the nose. And then on grand final day, it went forward in a slow mile, as I said. So all it did was go back to its pattern established from its previous prep. Now, yes, there's a rule of racing that says every horse has to be given every possible chance to finish as close as possible. But trainers, I repeat, are entitled to do the right thing by their horse going forward. So for this comparison, tell me I was any different from Tom Kitten a week earlier. Now, don't tell me the result was different, because Tom Kitten won by a nose over Ferrucci from the outside barrier of 8. They went back to last. And from there, once you're back to last, you are dictated to by how fast the leader is going. And that's in any race. So what advantage Tom Kitten, apart from being a very good horse, was that leaders were going quick despite the field being small. What disadvantage Ole Dancer was that Damien Lane went as slowly as possible because he didn't need to go faster on Sassapeel. But not just that. Via Sistina, beaten at odds on. Flemington, Maccabi Diva, a Group 1 last prep, its first Melbourne run. Everyone and their dog knew that her target was the Cox Plate. So what did James McDonald do in the small field? Allowed the horse to relax, didn't do much. Gets going at the 400 metre mark. All that was missing from Craig Williams and Mr. Brightside weren't blinkers, it was a robber's mask. Because they went as slowly as possible and they won, even though the old boy's clearly in decline. You're going to give him a lead that soft, he's going to win. And then in the Turnbull, midfield in a slow race, no horse got past it, but he settled behind Sir Delius and Antino, and as in James McDonald, worked home. Grand final day, was able to show a bit of speed, wasn't it? And then it won the Cox Plate. Half yours. First up last prep, widest barrier of 16. Goes well back after easing in the market for its kickoff run off a Sunshine Coast freshen. Goes to Caulfield Naturalism, wins the race, it qualifies for the Caulfield Cup. Guess where it's at? It's behind the leaders. Then once it was qualified for the Caulfield Cup, what happened in that Turnbull we're talking about? Let's go back to the 800. Give it a circle. Yep, nowhere. And then it smashes the line, and then it wins the Caulfield Cup. On each and any occasion, when trainer's intent is obvious, and sometimes the art is to work out when it isn't obvious, you've got to think, what are the trainers doing? And if you aren't thinking, what are the trainers doing or intending to do, you aren't thinking. Anyway, have a great week. Vince Cardi and I will be doing a preview podcast of Blue Diamond Day. Caulfield in the black shorts. Can't wait.